Yeah, I think it was already live anyway. I'm not sure why it would say live again unless it's going live twice for some reason. I don't know. Maybe you need to go live before you actually do that. Even though I started the stream on on OBS, it's saying that it's live. Okay, next step. Hope it doesn't have that echo. That's one of the annoying things. It's like if this does have an echo, let me know. Anyway, let's just jump on Xcode coding time, right? So what were we up to? We were up to we had our app where we were going to look at detecting the goat faces or animal faces. And where's my mouse gone? There it is. We're going to do that. So we've built the standard library, and yeah, I need to open that project because it's not in the list here. Okay. Wow, so I've jumped on quite a few projects since then. All right, what are we doing here? Let's actually, I should start the music first, really. Let's just jump onto that license-free music. Here it is. Recent searches, Stream Beats. That's the one that I want. Stream Beats. I want to follow. Just follow Stream Beats. I'm not sure why I didn't follow him before. Stream Beats is like. I'll just show you guys. So this is Stream Beats. I've not actually switched over to. Okay. Let's go back to coding time. No, this isn't it. So, watching the dance. Alright, what do we got here? Latest release. I actually like slaps here. Let's try turning that on. There we go. So I don't want that music to be like loud enough that it's going to distract, but I don't think they have like a way to quickly add a compressor to stop that music from bouncing around the standard audio. So I'll just try to turn it down so it's like it's there in the background. All right, where are we now? We were looking for our project. Face ID, detection. Ah, where's that project? Animal. Oh, Photo Explorer, that's it. So we've got two projects here. First one is Photo Explorer. This was the project I was working on to get raw data from a photo. I guess the next step will be to work out how to get binary data. Postman. How to get binary data into the endpoint for a Vapor website, right? So I would need to, I'll open that project also, which is Animal Face ID, Animal Detection. Open this one. So this one is the one that will launch our Vapor website, and we have a register request. So we have to, this register request will want to register with, what do we got saved? Required to be tomorrow. So what do we have? We want an animal to have. We've got the ID, type, weight, height, and then what do we do? We've got the animal def. So the animal def is the definition, or is this the data model? Because there was I could probably get rid of to do. This is a field. Ah, wait a second. So I hadn't even done this yet. So we have these property wrappers that indicate what this model is here. Or is that the TDO? What? What's going on here? Yeah, animal def, content decode. So what do we have? To do controller. Ah, DTO. So animal def really should be. Oh, no, I've got it here, right? So I actually took out the DTOs. I've got it all here. So let's just delete this whole DTO thing. Don't need that, because it's just confusing. So we have our model and our schema model. So we have our data model, which comes from the API, and we have our schema model. And the schema model is what we use to put into the database. And we'd probably, I guess in the schema model, we'd want... I don't know if we could put data in there. I don't know. We can try just putting data into the database, directly like a binary data. I think I'll need to... Hello. Hello. Hey, how are you? So just coding away on Swift actually at the moment, doing some Swift code. I don't know why Swift. I could have done this all in Python, really. Might have been easier because there's a lot more support for it. But anyway, we've gone down this path for now to set up a server to collect data from our photo app. So we're going to take photos with depth data. We're going to store it. So yeah, how are you? All right. We have our fields. I guess the animal definition is what we get from the HTTP request. So this will have binary data for image data, and then we'll have depth data. Right, so we want to have all of them to model. So let's see. Well, looks like I've got a call coming in. Let's mute. All right, so what do we got here? We've got... Let's just try and save it to the model. Maybe, let's see. Oh, shit. I haven't actually changed this over yet, have I? Should really change the scene. So, that was a bit silly of me. I hadn't actually changed the scene. There we go. Damn. Oh well. Live and learn. So what have we got here? We've got it. Let's just try it, right? Yeah, we have our packet if let image data self dot image data. We've got the model dot image. Try that. And then we can do the same thing, obviously, for the depth data. But kind of, that would make sense. query. We want to store this data first, like get it into the database. And then we've got this field here. Oh, it's saying, it's interesting because we have these initializers. We'll see, copy and paste there. That's a bit silly. And these are kind of like height, weight. These are around the wrong way. All right, so what do we got here? We've got weight, height, and then string. And then we would have image data. Height, depth data. Okay, so ID is optional. That's a weird one. I guess if you haven't been given an ID by the database, then you do that. Image data. All right. That's data. Depth. So what's next? What do we got here? We've got, let's go to the Vapor website, Vapor codes. Let's have a look at the documentation. Make that a bit bigger. And we want to jump into the documentation docs. Work out how we can, getting started. There we go. We've got middleware testing, server, getting started. No, we're looking for middleware server. What is this server? Vapor includes high performance asynchronous HTTP server. Cool, we've got all this done. And we can run it. This is how we run it. Swift run apps start. Now what I want to do is find out how to do the, let's see what we got. Let's go back here. Install basics. What's Fluent model relations query? Yeah, so we've got, so this is the Fluent model which we've got, right? UUID, schema, custom identifier, all right, initializer, must have an empty initializer, interesting. So a model is the database model. Name. Models can have 0 or more field properties. Fields require the database key to be explicitly defined. This is not required to be the same as the property name. Okay, they're suggesting camel case here. Snake case, sorry. Snake case. Snake case. Timestamp. Soft delete. Enum type. Raw enums, group types, pet fields, user model, group pet. If you've created the fields, if you use the group type pet. A group allows you to store a nested group of fields as a single property on your model. Models conform to codable by default. Data transfer object. Okay, so that was what we were looking at before. We have this thing here, which is your data transfer object. And here we have the patch users. So this is patch users user ID. Okay, so this is where we would get the data to save on the database. I think we already do that here anyway. In the animal ID control. So we register, we decode it from the model, we hit the request. Okay, so now let's go back to this documentation. Just have a look at how they do. We've got the controllers, right? So the controllers will tell us, you give us, yeah, okay, so this gives us the requests. Create, to do, save, request, right? So this is what we have. We have registered our controller. So let's, if we go to, Face ID. So we have animal detection. Okay, so we got Swift run app. So in this one here, we want to basically run this application now, just to make sure it runs. I haven't run this in a couple of weeks, more than a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks. I've worked on the app, but not the website for a while. All right, so we got routing is, and we're running in HTTP localhost at the moment. I'm trying to find app run. Logging, environment, routing controllers. So this is the basic stuff. I just want to start getting started. Swift PM. How do we, yeah, I don't really want to, I just want to run it. Install, I've done that. Getting started, I guess. What is it suggesting to run? Swift run? I know that there's definitely a lot more that we can do with the running aspect of it. I think I saw one before in controllers. No, it was in the advanced section. It was not in the Vapor Docs. Getting started. Testing. Was it in testing? No, I don't think it was. No. I think I somehow lost that part of the code. Do 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 do. God damn it. Not here. Let's jump back into advanced server. Swift run app serve hostname. Okay. The hostname controls which address the server will accept new connections on. Yep, default is 127.0.1, which is kind of like the local. Configure the custom hostname somewhere. Where do you put it? The server configuration hostname can be overridden by bypassing. So this would be in Swift run, but where do we, in the configuration here? All right, so we have our database URL. I'm going to run out MongoDB too. Okay, so I have to start the MongoDB up. Mojo. Damn it. So Mongo. Yeah, so this is what happens when you don't actually MongoD, that's right. By default, MongoD processes. We've got MongoD, introduction, get started. We just want to run it. I was like spent half a day just trying to get this to run. Mongo sh. MongoD. Oh, great. That's a bit of a... shut down mirror server, shut down, wait for install, connect to a deployment, run MongoD installation, Mongo shell, connect to MongoDB. I don't even know where I stole performance credit aggregation. I don't even remember what the actual connection string was, even though I started it. Oh, jeez. Let's jump back here. So we have the database URL, 277 Vapor database, MongoDB. MongoSH. Server generated. Okay, let's have a look. We should have list. Create a new connection of database objects. Set the current database. Show databases. Show databases. Yeah, so we have our Vapor database there. Set the current database. Use Vapor. So that means that we do have it. Create a new connection and return a database object. Okay, great. So MongoDB is running. That was Swift run. So that would mean that it should be able to connect to the database now. Also, I started that ages ago, like that, just getting the MongoDB to run. Just connecting to the local host. Yeah, that's right. Everything's running on the local host. Atlas search time series. Create a multi-cloud database. No, it's not a local database to use. Because I've got the local database is what I'm using to run introduction, get started, next steps, set up your own deployment. Yep. Local, here we go. For more information on installing locally, installation MongoDB Atlas. I don't want. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Just to remember, brew services start. Okay, so we started the MongoDB, so that's all good. I have a Linux instance also running on this my server, which let's just try to get a quick refresher. Make sure I know where it is. Let's add it here. Projects. We've got animal detection. We've got a deep depth data server. Vapor. We want to get this Vapor, the MongoDB here. Install macOS, install on Linux. We want to install on Ubuntu and that one as well because we're running an Ubuntu server. But anyway, okay, so let's jump back into what you had here with the Swift app run, app serve run, app serve. I actually had lots of weird issues with running this on Ubuntu. Host. Yeah, hosting. .local. Okay, here we go. Interesting, Swift numerics has changed. Waiting game. Should take too long. Oh man, I should. So tempted to get the Mac Studio, really, and just use this MacBook Pro for general development. I'm just sure that it's going to run a lot faster. Maybe, you know, I'll probably, because the M2, it's got the M2 now at the moment. So we've got the M2 running the Mac Studio. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Let's see. It didn't work. The two, oh, that's right, because I've deleted it. That would make sense. So, Analog To Do controller. We can get rid of this, I think. We don't need that anymore. There's just reference code there to understand what the hell to do. In a certain case, the code. You can always just refer to it in the docs. Schema. Create to do. So this actually creates, this is the migration to create it. Actually, I have to. Image depth, image data, and depth data. So we'll have to run the migrations again. This will be depth data. I wonder if I can. What kind of type it is? This. Can you do data? Field. Interesting. I can't actually get to the actual code here. Package. Also have to. Looks like I'll have to run app migrate. I'll have to do the run the migration. Okay. So that's in todo.swift. Yep. And this is the other way around. So this basically takes the model when returns it. We're not doing that. We're not trying to retrieve anything yet. I'll just comment this out, to be honest. I don't want this migration anymore. So much work that's gone into this. And we're not going to configure or register our to-do controller anymore. Entry point. Do. Yeah, we don't need our to-do control here. Apt-get view render index. So what's the difference here? Async throws index title. Yeah, interesting. What do you mean no new migrations? I guess if that data scheme, if that's database schema, maybe because it's interesting. No matching connection found with host name localhost port 27017. I guess if there's no new migration, there's no new migrations. Maybe because it's a document database and not a SQL database. All right. So what's the next thing? We've got 7, 1, 3, 6. So let's just try to run this. And server erased unknown host to local port 8080. Maybe just run app like this. Let's jump onto our, I guess, our local host. Local host. 8080, I think. I should just be, let's go host. Oh, we do need to do 8080. Yeah, alright. So that's that. And now that we have port forwarding set up on the server, so we have a few sources of how to set it up on Ubuntu. But right now I just want to double check that this is going to actually get the Sendavite data to... Oh, so I'll add the right data to the database here, right? So we've got... Let's close these, we don't need these. We've got register here. ID. Unique ID. So we need, let's see, JSON binary data. How do we, so this is it's in JSON. In a request. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have Vapor's content APIs available. So we have await client post this request. Encode the JSON. So this is the response. Yeah, so I need to set up a stream. That's I think I set up I need to set up another endpoint. The other endpoint would actually take. So these aren't required. Not required. Optional. So these would be optional, right? Optional. The reason that they're optional is because you need to create the instance of the object. And then you'd send up the image data and depth data separately on a separate URL request, because you can't. I mean, we could set it up. We could set up the HTTP request with this post that has like maybe image data set up as base64, but how do we exit the server again? Suspended port ready cure. So what we have instead, yeah, so I need to set up two other requests. One is to upload the image data, one to upload the depth data. And so register, and we need to make this controllers again sendable. register update. No, send. Actually, I have no idea how this would work on, because this looks like a CRUD model. And I think with the binary data stream across multiple requests, it's a bit different. I need to research that, how they do it. Methods, content, API, configuration. You can configure underlying HTTP client via the application. Let's see, what do we have here? We've got validation, async, content, controllers. Like, it would be in controllers, right? Because that's what I'm trying to create. So we have our to-dos controller. We have get, put, update, delete. Controllers should... So that's pretty straightforward. So you have controls. Good place to put your controls in controls folder. And then client async logging environment. Maybe it's an advanced testing middleware server commands, queues, files. Maybe uploading files. Vapor offers a simple API for reading write files asynchronously. So we've got the file that we can read here asynchronously. That's fine. We want to write the file once we get it, and then maybe save the file ID. Or if we can save the... Yeah, so it would kind of make more sense to have the files themselves separate to the database. I don't think it makes sense to put binary data into a document database. It just doesn't make any sense. I would just blow it up. I don't think I'll make it... look, I can make it a data object for now, just to get it working. I just want to upload, get the blocking point at this point is to get the damn request working on Vapor. Oh, hey debug. Why I chose Vapor. How's Vapor so far? Yeah, look, it's not... Vapor is not that commonly used, so some things which you think might be simple to do, like what I'm trying to do now is just to upload a file via HTTP, is not so easy to figure out how to do. And instead of just going out and looking for, like going to Google and just going, how do I upload a file on HTTP? I'm trying to avoid using those kind of tools to just get the thing that I want. And the reason for that is I want to actually learn how Vapor works. Why did I choose Vapor? Because I had a choice between the Django and Vapor. And in this case, because I'm just doing Swift, I thought it might make more sense to use Swift Vapor. I like the Swift community. I want to support it. But honestly, if you have seen Chris Latner's latest interview with Primeagen, if you've seen it, it's kind of like maybe Swift isn't the right choice. I think Chris Latner actually I felt like he kind of somewhat disowned it. And I understand why, because it has become a mess of a language. So, but hopefully that answers your question. I just chose it because I'm fluent in Swift, and I'm building the app side in Swift, so I thought I'd build the server side in Swift also. If I don't make too much progress, if I'm finding like it's just too much of a headache, I'm going to switch to Django, just because it's just like the easiest to do what I need to do. I mean, instead of doing JS and all this kind of stuff, because I want to do depth data and I want to run services on the server, like I want to run a model training system on the server itself. Python kind of makes sense also because it's all integrated, but the training would be happening on a separate process, obviously. So services. So here the question is, like, where would I find information about how to upload a file I know that you have the life cycle of the application, locks, requests. Services that are intended to be used in root handlers should be added to request. File, search, upload. Body streaming, that's what we want. For large requests like file uploads, can I do it in controllers though? Collecting the request body in a buffer can potentially strain your memory. To prevent request body from being collected, use the stream strategy. Body streaming. Body streaming. Sounds like an 80s workout video. Body stream. When registering a route using the on method, you can specify how the request body should be handled. So we want, generally for uploading data, 1 megabyte body size is what I've used before. So I wish I could do it here, but I don't know if I can. That. File middleware. Uncomment to serve files from public folder. Okay. I'll need to look at that later. Start default max. Concurrent default max body size. And they're saying 500. Oh, interesting. 1000 KB. I wonder why they did that and not in as a number. If a stream body is collected exceeds the configured limit for to configure request body collection strategy for an individual route. Okay, so we can change it to max size post listings. If max size is passed for large requests like file uploads, collecting the body on post body stream. So here we go. App on post upload. So how would we do that in the animal ID control? So request, can we do that? It would be a post. So you could post. How would we do that on a controller? So controller is like a collection of endpoints for a particular CRUD. Maybe it's just CRUD, right? CRUD controllers. I just want to double check what controllers are. I want to save this page, because if I lose it, at least I know where it is. If I lose it, then I'll forget how to do it in a week's time, and then that's it. I don't know if you've ever heard of the saying. This is like I heard it a long time ago, and it after doing software stuff for 20 years, it makes sense. Like when you write code, only you and God know what it does, and then 6 months after you wrote it, only God knows what it does. And that's very true. You have to very often go back to code, re-look at it, kind of think about it again. It'll take you an hour or so to context switch, I like to call it, back to the code that you were looking at. So at least I found this. This is what I was looking for, right? I was looking for the file streams. And the next one I wanted to do was just see if we can go into controllers. Open a new tab. And then see, get, post. Oh, that's it. Controllers are a great way to organize your code. They are collections of methods that accept a request and return a response. That's great. But how do I do a stream of data in this routes.grouped? Maybe if okay, so this is grouped routes to do, and then the other one here, routing, I'll go, control, is there something like controller in here? No, control. Oh, interesting. You PHP Laravel, right? Yeah, Laravel. That's like a lot more established a much broader base of users. I've never used Laravel. I've used like if I really was serious about building something big, yeah, huge community. Like this, if you want to build something that's serious, I would, and you've got C#, Go C#. That's the best enterprise serious kind of software, like backend stuff. It's very well and easily integrated with ASP.NET, .NET Core, ASP.NET, Microsoft C# services. It's just all in one solution, right? So you got Azure, which does it all for you. Linux side, Laravel, yeah. I think Swift is pretty good for its support on Linux also, and with Apple behind it, like they've open sourced it, and I just hope they really push that whole thing. But Apple doesn't have that same reputation for supporting developers as you would get from, say, from Google and Microsoft. Like Google and Microsoft really have just a broad spectrum of tools like Google Cloud and Firebase, and Microsoft has Azure, and they've got all that stuff. Plus, they've got the C#. I'm actually thinking of like with the app stuff drying up a bit. Like, I love native apps. Like, don't get me wrong, they're the best. Like, the most efficient way to build apps on iOS and Android is with either Kotlin or Swift. And I've done Kotlin and Swift apps. But the market for C# is just so much bigger. Like, if you're ever stuck trying to find a client, then C# is the way to go. But there's so many C# houses out there now. Like, I've got a friend in Vietnam, and they do like an all-in-one kind of package for IoT, back end and front end. So it's difficult to compete with that unless you really specialize. Like, if you really Swift iOS and you're like the go-to, you're like number one Swift developer in Australia or whatever country, then you'll always be in demand. But there are a lot of people in that space. I guess like any competition, and I just haven't been sticking with Swift as long as a lot of other people have. I've gone from Swift to Python, and app architecture is more of my thing. But at the same time, like, you want to keep your options open because if all of a sudden like it dries up, like there's very little to do in certain companies with apps, then especially native, then you might find it hard to secure some work. So that's why I kind of try to keep options open. Like, Python's a good one because you got a lot of web stuff that's built in Python. Linux as well support Python, and then you got the whole machine learning community, and it's pretty easy to get into machine learning. Like, if you've gone through uni and you know a little bit about how neural networks work, it's easy to pick up. And games. So I did games for like 20 years. 20 years? No, 15. About 15 years of games development. All in C, C++, assembly C, C++, and then Objective-C with native apps for iPhone that was about 12 years ago now. It was the last one. It's like 1998, 2012. And after that was mostly like IoT stuff, which is what this is kind of like related. Excuse me. Route groups. So this is building the routing. This is the basics of routing. And then so this is basics of routing, and controllers are another way to do routes. So two ways to do routes. There's no body streaming, right? I'll just have to do this then. Unless, what does this go? This goes. This is the photo app code. So this code is like the photo capture. So the app that capture, I use this app to capture a photo with depth data, and this code is the server, which will take the depth data and save it. And the idea is to train models on this data, but all have it built in, right, into the system, so it can be then deployed to do different animals and those kind of things. I know Mojo's, I don't know if you guys have heard of Mojo. Mojo is like another language that's pretty cool. It's again Chris Ladner. They've set this platform up called Max. I did some, like, I explored it a little bit, and it's very much in its infancy. But the idea I actually spoke to Chris about is it being possible to do training on the servers, and apparently you can. So maybe it's like this whole exercise is just like faffing about, but it's just good experience nonetheless, and learning Swift, learning Vapor. I do want to support the Swift community. So we have routes. We have the register the collections, and this does get on index. So this is the routes builder. So can I? Because auto animal. Can I do this one? Animal ID dot. It would be a get, obviously. No, we post. Yeah, post. Request. Animal ID request. Where is this? Routes builder. Can't even actually go to it. I have no idea how I would do it here, so I have to go and do it in the routes definition. Up dot post. I'll do it here. Dot on, actually app on post. Have to post app. Wait, this doesn't make sense. Why is this different to the other ones? App.get, but then you got streaming app on post. All right, I guess that if it is what it is, then it is what it is. Post app.on.post. Yeah, sure. Upload depth upload. It's called depth upload. If we're doing snake case in other places, let's make it snake case. Depth upload. Got, yeah, body.stream. Yeah, body.stream. Oh, guys, finishing up. Thanks for watching. I've been just doing this for about 6 months, so if you're here right now and you're watching, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Really want to connect with the community and just share my experience in Swift, Python, all the new tech stuff. Really want to support young people in their journey also. So, if you've got any questions, fire away. I've been doing this for about let's say 20 years. No, I've been doing games for about 15. All of this like tech stuff since 1998, 95. So that's almost 30 years. Just coding away. This is coding time. If you want to know more about just tech stuff in general, I do have a stream on yesterday, which I didn't actually stream, but I'll be streaming 2 days a week. One is coding, the other one is just tech stuff, tech news, just commentary, and then I do one video where I just discuss a particular topic. Last one was about social media. So anyway, thank you very much. Nice to see you, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thanks. I have to fix up that open source repo with a README. So I Yeah, I had some commentary about that not being usable because it doesn't have a README in the template project for that open source. I actually open sourced it, but anyway, yeah. Thank you very much, Debug. Good to see you. And I'll yeah, bye.